We already started recording, so everyone are welcome to AFOMP school webinar. Today it's lucky, so I think this is actually the first webinar after Chinese New Year. So we have two speakers from China, and our moderator is also from China. I will give a brief introduction about the moderator. Then I will hand out my microphone to Professor Jianjian. She's a medical physicist, a professor of clinical medical physics, vice director of radiotherapy department in the Huadong Hospital, Fudan University. So she actually got his PhD degree in radiation medicine at Fudan University in Shanghai, China. Her research efforts have been recognized and supported by competitive funding from the Shanghai Municipal Commission of Science and Technology, the National Natural Science Foundation of China, etc. And there's also been published numerous articles in leading research journals. So please welcome Professor Chu to moderate our today's webinar. Professor Chu.
Okay, thanks for the introduction, and thank you very much for the support on today's AFOMP school webinar. And today's topic is on imaging. So we have two lectures today, and to the audience during the process, if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to type in the chat box on the bottom, and we will collect and discuss them at the Q&A section. So today the first speaker is Professor Yidong, and his topic is image guidance in radiation therapy. Professor Yang is from the University of Science and Technology of China, School of Physical Science, China. And he got his bachelor degree in engineering physics in Tsinghua University, China, and he got his PhD degree in metaphysics from Jianjian Institute of Technology. Also, he finished his metaphysics resident study in Johns Hopkins University. His research institute include one, multiple modulator image and image-guided precision radiation therapy. The second one is coordinative nuclear image and target therapy. And the last direction is AI-assisted and automatic radiation oncology. And he also has published many articles in leading research journals. Okay, if Professor Yang is ready, let's welcome.
Okay. Thank you, Dr. Jin, for your invitation, and thank you, Dr. Chu, for your introduction. Now, I'll share my screen. I'll start my talk now. So the first talk will cover on image-guided radiation therapy. So this talk is the outline of my talk. First, I'll introduce the background about image guidance in radiation therapy. In this part, I will focus on CT guidance and MRI guidance. I think Dr. Ni, after my talk, his talk will cover the ultrasound guidance and application in radiation therapy. And also, because my research also focuses on preclinical development, so I'll also briefly introduce our latest development in preclinical precision radiation. So first, something about our radiation therapy clinic workflow. So I think every physicist is very familiar with this workflow, right? From patient cancer diagnosis, after the physician determined to use radiation therapy for treatment, they will send the patient to our department, right? Department of Radiation Oncology. We will have to the treatment planning for the patients. And after the plan is approved by both physician and the physicist, patient will get radiation treatment in the treatment room. Right? Then after treatment, patient also have to come back for response evaluation. You can see through the entire process, entire workflow, imaging actually plays a very important role, right? So we rely on different imaging modalities for precision cancer diagnosis, like CT, MRI, ultrasound, and also nuclear medicine imaging. And then in treatment planning, we also know most clinics have CT, right? Because CT is almost a requirement for treatment planning. And also some clinics, they also have MRI. And some luxury department, right, they may have PET within their department, but they usually have that in their hospital. And then during during radiation delivery, we can see we also rely on image, right, to provide the patient positioning and also tumor localization, like 2D X-ray radiography, 3D cone beam CT. Now, the latest development also provides us MRI and ultrasound image guidance, right? So imaging is actually is indispensable, right? We rely on the imaging during our entire radiation therapy workflow. So for the image RT, right, everybody is very familiar with. So we usually refer to the third part. That means this right during radiation delivery, right? We have combined our imaging modality with the treatment linac to provide the image guided treatment. But generally, we can also enlarge this field to include treatment planning. So this is some the summary of all the imaging modalities that have been applied in radiation therapy. So CT, MRI, PET, ultrasound, I think everybody, most people are very familiar with. So this is a plot of depth versus efficiency, time. So because for our patient, right, the dimension is about 30 to 40 centimeters. That means the signal must be able to penetrate the patient body. That's why the depth is very important. Right? For CT, MRI, PET, they can both penetrate enough, deep enough into human body. For ultrasound, it's a little bit limited, but still it can penetrate more than 10 cm. So that means they're all very useful for the general diagnosis. For optical imaging, so the new modality is a relatively new modality. We have heard about the SGRT, right? Surface guided radiation therapy. That means that they use actually surface imaging using visible light for guidance, but we can only visualize the patient the contour. That means the surface. We cannot penetrate too much. Right? It's less than 1 millimeter depth. And at the end, I will also talk about another imaging modality, the optical molecular imaging. Is also depends on light, visible light, and infrared light, but it's a molecular imaging modality like PET. So you can see that's why some modalities are very popular and some are not very popular, right? So because most of them are first it must penetrate deep enough. Second, it must be very efficient, right? You cannot treat it. We cannot spend too much time on imaging in our treatment. So this summary and comparison between different imaging modalities. I'll put CT, PET, and MRI, and Dr. Ni later we'll talk about ultrasound. So we most care about two important parameters. One is the spatial resolution, right? The second is imaging efficiency or speed. And these two probably most important parameters. You can see CT and MR, they both have about 1 millimeter resolution or higher. The PET, the resolution is relatively worse, right? It's about 3 to 5 millimeter. And in terms of imaging efficiency, PET is the slowest modality. It takes about usually half an hour and for one patient imaging. Also, we also pay attention to their image information, like whether or not we can acquire molecular image information. So some modalities like PET, we call them like a molecular imaging modality, right? But CT and MR, they can only most of the image sequence, they can only provide anatomy information. But the optical molecular imaging, later I will mention, they can also provide molecular imaging information. So this is the comparison between different image displays. The first one is the CT. You can see clearly the image model, the patient anatomy. And the MRI also, we can see the anatomy very clearly. But for PET, you can see without the CT, actually we cannot realize the patient anatomy very clearly. But the PET can provide some molecular activity of the target, right? This is a small tumor in the patient liver. And also in clinic, we have this like multimodality imaging, like PET-CT and PET-MRI. So first is some definition about IGRT, image-guided radiation therapy. The references from one very famous review paper by David Jeffrey. It's published about 10 years ago, right? So he clearly defined the image guidance in radiation therapy. Also, he like envisioned the future of from then, right? The future of image guidance. So the definition is very clear. It's use imaging to assist patient positioning and target localization. Before and now, we mostly pay to the patient positioning, but now more and more we pay attention to the target localization, whether or not we can directly localize the tumor, so as to ensure the precise delivery of radiation dose to the target while maximally sparing the normal tissue. So two goals, right, in radiation therapy. First, we needed to use high dose, a prescription dose, to treat the target, right? And second, we needed to minimize the dose to the organs at risk. So now RGRT is already becomes the standard, right? So based on the experience and the past almost 2 decades, right? A clinical trial and clinical outcome. So we did indeed like found that RGRT is effective in increasing the tumor control and also decrease the toxicity. So this is the imaging modality that we have utilized in our clinic for IGRT, right? And I think most of us will know this very well. The first one is on the right, the CyberKnife, right? They use two orthogonal 2D X-ray for image acquisition. The second one is the standard, or standard linac, right? Either Varian or elect, right? They use the cone beam CT. It's like about orthogonal to the treatment beam. And this one is the tomotherapy machine. They use the helical MVCT to provide image guidance. And the last one is the MRI guided radiation therapy machine. It's by elect. So all these image modalities. So you can see that their potential and their popularity, right? So most popular modality still is X-ray based. Either it's a 2D X-ray or it's 3D cone beam CT. It's already installed with Linac. And for the other new modality like MRI, PET, ultrasound, optical, they're becoming more and more popular because they have very strong potential. My research is focused on to increase the potential for this popular modality like cone beam CT, but also to make this potential modality more reliable and push them to clinic. So now I will talk about two modalities. One is CT and the other is MRI. Mostly I will talk about my research development. And so first is the CT. I think everybody agree that CT is still the dominant imaging modality in radiation therapy. Right? We have two types of machines. One is the helical CT, that is used for cancer diagnosis and also for our treatment planning, right, for our plan simulation. So we use helical CT for target controlling and also treatment plan and also those radiation dose calculation. And the other type is cone beam CT. Is use the cone beam for one entire volume or volumetric imaging. This has been on board our LINAC provide image guidance during radiation treatment. This one calico CT is cone beam CT. This one prostate cancer plan that is on overlapped on plan CT. So just briefly talk about the difference between fine beam CT and cone beam CT. Fine beam CT, this is I call this word. I think fine beam CT is based on the sectional imaging. That means we image the patient slice by slice. Now we have like also volumetric imaging because most scanners can provide multiple row detectors like 64 rows and even 320 rows. Right? So now also it's more like a volumetric imaging, but usually we call fine beam CT is like a section by section imaging. But cone beam CT is volumetric imaging because the one single shoot can provide the one projection of entire volume. It's like this, is a we call it flat panel detector, and we use the flat panel detector for image acquisition. So usually we just need one single rotation for the imaging of entire patient volume. So actually, cone beam CT has been applied in other areas besides radiation therapy, such as dental CT, breast cone beam CT, and our C-arm. Right, this is very popular in the hospital. It's a mobile imaging device. So this let's talk about a little about the history of cone beam CT guidance. Actually, in 1995, which is about 30 years ago, John Wong, and then he worked. I think he worked at William Beaumont. So he proposed the development of cone beam CT and integrate this cone beam CT onto a LINAC. So they developed, along with I think David Jeffrey and also Jeff Silverstein, they developed the first cone beam CT and installed it on a Electa LINAC. So this is the first cone beam CT guided radiation therapy device. So this is left image. After 2000, the cone beam CT has been widely adapted in RT, and it started an era of 3D image guidance. Before we have 2D, right? Actually, now we have 3D X-ray imaging. So we know like whether or not we judge the image modality useful. So we have to see the patient outcome. So based on tons of literature and clinical studies, so we do found the cone beam CT can reduce the uncertainty. So before, without cone beam CT, the margin, right, from PTV, CTV, from the CTV to PTV, right, is about several centimeters. So after cone beam CT guidance, now in clinic, the margin is reduced to less than 5 millimeter. Right? For the head and neck, we usually use a 3 millimeter margin to cover the uncertainty. And for the treatment in like the thorax, right? Thorax or abdomen, right? Usually we use 5 millimeter margin. But still, it's much reduced compared to 2D image guidance. So this actually the margin reduction, of course, will reduce the toxicity to the critical structures. And also it can improve the treatment outcome because we can use a higher dose after we gain the confidence in uncertainty. This is their first comprehensive image. This is from Phantom. So the image quality now is getting better and better. But when we compare to fine beam CT, the quality of cone beam CT is always worse, right? Because they have much more scatter, right? Because we shoot beam through a much bigger volume than fine beam CT. So in the clinic, same cone beam CT is mainly to assist the patient positioning. It has compared to fine beam CT, it has a relatively low signal noise ratio and contrast. So it's not suited for direct target or OER contouring. And also the CTU, the CT number or Hounsfield unit, the area is larger than from fine beam CT. So usually we do not use the cone beam CT for direct dose calculation. But after we improve the image quality, we can expand its functionality. So one important point is this volumetric scan. It can result in cigarette contamination and also image artifact. So my research focuses on improving the image quality of cone beam CT. So there's many methods to reduce the cone beam CT scatter, like based on hardware and based on software. So we focus on using one is the prior information from planning CT, and also we develop deep learning methods to image the image quality. We also design some hardware to reduce the scatter. This different ways of reducing scattering, beam collimation, beam modulation, and also this one we may be familiar. This is for using anti-scatter grid. So this one research we conducted about 3 years ago. So for each patient, right, we have several image modalities, right, usually in clinic. Before patient come to radiation oncology, actually they have already, right, they are already have the diagnosis image like a CT, PET, or MRI. And also before the radiation delivery, we also have the planning CT, right? So these are high quality images. So we design some method, right, by borrowing the information from planning CT and then apply this information to improve the image quality in cone beam CT. And we call it it's a prior information-based scatter correction. So we use this method to calculate the scatter based on planning CT, and then apply the scatter correction to the cone beam projection. And then we use the regular method to reconstruct the image. So this one is already published in medical physics. So it's a better method, and it does not rely too much on the prior information. It can still provide us like a real-time patient anatomy information. So another way is we use hardware to improve the image quality and reduce the scatter. So we design these LED blocks. It's also kind of LED strips, right? So it can actually it can block most of the scatter. So after the beam goes through these gaps, right? So we think that most of the signal is actually like a direct beam signal with like minimize the scatter. Then we can, by subtraction, we can calculate the scatter. And then we subtract the scatter from the cone CT projection and get a better cone CT image. So we also developed a dual energy imaging method. So by using like two energy spectrum, one low energy spectrum, one higher spectrum, right? We can actually modulate this in our X-ray tube. Right? So every X tube has this functionality. So using dual energy cone beam CT imaging method, actually we can also dramatically reduce actually the scatter. Right? So this is the current method. This is our method. You can see the image becomes much clearer, and also we can better separate the bone tissue from the soft tissue. We can use this method to reduce the CT error to less than 1%. So that means we can rely on this cone beam CT image for dose calculation. So another area is deep learning. So AI is a hot topic. It's always a hot topic almost in every research area. So we also we design neural network to establish a map between plan CT and cone beam CT. And then we use the plan CT information to improve the quality of cone beam CT. So we call this like a synthetic CT. So after we improve the image quality of cone beam CT, we can actually expand the functionality of cone beam CT, right? Before, we can only use the cone beam CT for patient positioning, right? During radiation delivery. Now we have better signal noise ratio, better contrast. We can use the cone beam CT for target controlling and also OER controlling. And because the CT number is the accuracy of CT number is improved, so we can also rely on the cone beam CT for dose calculation. So now we expanded its functionality from positioning to treatment planning. So this is very helpful for adaptive radiation therapy, right? We need online real-time dose calculation after we get the positioning cone beam CT. So we don't have to remove the patient from the table. We can just rely on cone beam CT for treatment planning. So we use some phantom and calculate those and compare between planning CT and cone beam CT. Actually, the gamma passing rate is pretty high. It's greater than 98%. So as a summary, the CT is fundamental to 3D radiation therapy, and it has been used for treatment planning and image guidance. The advantage is high resolution, provide electron density information for dose calculation. Also, it's fast, and compared to MRI, there's no distortion in CT. And the disadvantage, right, is it has a relatively low soft tissue contrast. It's also compared to MRI, and also it's not a molecular imaging modality. It's lack of molecular information. So still, right, for soft tissue tumor, right, it's difficult to use CT to define the tumor location, also to delineate the boundary and calculate molecular activity in CT. So we need some complementary modality. So next, briefly cover the MRI guidance. What's time now? Okay. So compared to CT, the MRI has high soft tissue contrast. It's radiation free. Right? That means you can image as long as you want. Right? You can keep the imaging on while the beam is on. And also, MRI is kind of like a summary or a lot of imaging sequences. Right? They have T1 sequence, T2 sequence, and also DWI, and other image modalities, image sequences. It can provide different tumor information, right? And also, it's fast image. It can provide any arbitrary image plane. It's not like a X-ray image, right? From one single projection, it's like there's overlap in the projection. But MRI is internal section. You can image through any image plane. And mostly we are most interested in the plane across the tumor target. So this one patient we treated with MRI imaging for planning. So we acquired the planning CT. This is from planning CT. And this is a prostate target. We treat the entire volume. You can see this bright point. This is the fiducial for just to double check. And in CT, the signal is kind of almost uniform, right? There's no heterogeneity. But if we use the MRI to check this prostate region, you can see T1, T2, T1, T2. This is the diffusion, right? ADC, diffusion image and contrast enhancement image. You can see there's much more diverse information. In the T2, you can actually see in this area, and this is the subtumor area, signal is dark, and in ADC also it has much less diffusion and a higher perfusion. So this area we actually define as the most malignant area. So we can use MRI to determine the subtumor heterogeneity. So we can do those painting actually. So this is how we treat this patient. Because we identify this volume, summer volume, as the molecular area, so we can do the dose boost. Right? So traditionally we do like 40 gray, 2 gray times 40, 80 gray prescription. But now, because we can identify this subtumor, right, malignant volume, we can do a 1 fraction SBRT dose boost. We add 12 gray dose boost to this subtumor volume, right? It's like the dose painting. So in this way, we can get better tumor control, actually. So this is two machines available as MRI-guided radiation therapy. So one is from VIRI. They use low-field MRI as the imaging modality. They combine this with cobalt treatment and also with LINAC. And the other one is from Elect, is Unity. Right? This machine combines the 1.5 MRI, 1.5 Tesla MRI with their LINAC. This is the clinical workflow when we do MRI-guided radiation therapy. So first we do the simulation, right? Because there's MRI guidance, the patient has to do two imaging. One is planning CT, the other is planning MRI. Then we register these two imaging modalities, and we plan on these two fused images. So we rely on MRI for target controlling and also OAR controlling, and then we rely CT on for those computation, right? Because CT provide us the CT number and the electron density, but MRI has a better soft tissue contrast. And during treatment, we still use MRI to set up our patient. Because with MRI, we can directly visualize the tumor. Right? We do not have to rely on the bone or lung, those like different density as the reference. We can directly align the tumor volume to the plan. And so before treatment, we do an MRI to set up the patient, and also for some patient, we do the adaptive treatment or adaptive radiation therapy. That means we compare with the treatment day plan or image with our plan image. If we see a lot of change in patient anatomy, we will do a replan. That means the online plan optimization. So while patient is still on the table, right? Then we compare this treatment day plan with our the original plan. If there's a big difference, then we will use the adaptive plan, treatment day plan to treat the patient. And during the radiation delivery, we keep the MRI on. Right? This dynamic MRI sequence is fast imaging. We can do 4 frames per second. Now I think they improved to 8 frames per second. That's a fast imaging. We monitor the tumor motion and patient position change, right, during radiation delivery. So if we see a significant movement, so we will stop the beam and realign the patient. So just to show some comparison, right, between MRI and COM-beam CT. So this is the two patient images acquired from a low field MRI. This from VIRI Meridian. It's like a 3.35 Tesla MRI. This is the regular COM-beam CT. So this patient is a breast patient, actually after breast surgery. So we want to treat the tumor bed, right? With COM-beam CT, you almost we cannot identify the tumor bed boundary at all. But with the low field MRI, we can clearly see the tumor bed. And this one cancer in liver, right? See, still, right, the MRI provide a much better tumor to normal tissue contrast. And this one pancreas patient we treat on MRI guided radiation therapy. I want to show the dramatic the tissue change, right, between treatment planning day, between the simulation day and the first day of treatment, right? You can see the tumor is right outlined with red lines, right? You can see actually the tumor is getting larger after 1 week, right, after the simulation. And also, when you compare the positions of different critical structure, you can also see some dramatic changes for the stomach and the duodenum, right, which are all critical structures we want to avoid. So that's why we need the adaptive radiation therapy. So we compare the adaptive plan in solid line and the original plan in dashed line, right? So before re-optimization, so we get a compromised PTV coverage, right, from 90% to less than 85%. We also have overdose to liver, duodenum, and stomach, right? After re-optimization, we increase the tumor coverage to almost 90%. We also reduce the dose to the organs at risk, critical structures. So we also use the dynamic MRI, we call it Xinye MRI, for imaging guidance and for gating, actually, when we treat lung tumor and abdominal tumor. Right? So when the tumor moves inside the boundary, we will start the beam for treatment. When the tumor target moves out, so we will stop the beam. So we especially investigate the respiratory gating using these dynamic MRI images. You can see there's always a delay, right, between the gating signal and the gated action, right? So the delay can be very short, like when we use the RPM or ABC, right? The delay is almost negligible. But when we use the imaging as a surrogate for gating, we have to pay attention to the imaging delay, and we call it the gating latency. So because this MRI, the Xinye MRI imaging speed is about 0.5, 1/4 seconds, right? 0.25 second per imaging. So you see, when the beam is on, right? So when target is inside the boundary, the beam is on. But when the target moves out boundary, we want to immediately stop the beam, right? But we acquire the information, the positioning information or the volume information from these dynamic MRI images. So that means, right, we only know this position after we get the image. So the imaging time is about 0.3 seconds, right? That means the latency is at least more than 0.25 seconds. So what will happen if there's a latency? So that means we cannot immediately stop the beam, right? We stop the beam only after we acquire the image. So that will cause the beam overshoot, which is about, for each time, it's about 0.25 seconds. So you see, this is a little time, but if we have if the frequency is very high, we cannot ignore this beam overshoot. So we investigate this effect. So this and the paper we published about 2 years ago. So we investigated like 17 pancreatic cancer patients. They receive MRI-guided SBRT. It's about 5 fractions, and with a breath hold. And we use Xinye MRI. The Xinye MRI is always on during the beam on, so to record this patient position, tumor movement. So this is our study result, right? For each patient, because this is after we first implement this MRI guided radiation technique. So at that time, it's not very optimized. So we can see the treatment duration is relatively long. It's about more than half an hour. And beam on event, this is very important, right? It's more than 100 times. So that means this one time 0.25 second. It's a pretty large time. So we cannot ignore it. So we finally, the dose overshoot is about 7%, right? So that means we have to pay attention to this gating latency. So after this study, we suggest we should use like maybe active control when we use this image-based gating technique. We also did some research on deep learning based imaging improvement. So we designed some network, the neural network is a circle GAN to improve this 2D fast MRI imaging. So because there's always a balance between speed and quality, right? So we in MRI guidance, in the real-time MRI guidance, we pay a lot of attention to the imaging speed, but you cannot right get the image quality, image speed without sacrificing the image quality. So the image quality actually is not very high. You can see this, the original imaging. So we got some idea. So we use the setup MRI, which is 3D MRI, and the planning MRI, right? We have planning MRI for each patient in MRI guided radiation therapy. So we use the deep learning to learn these imaging patterns from 3D MRIs and apply this information to improve this fast image quality. So this is after the improvement, you can see the quality is much better. And most importantly, if we use MRI image as a gating, we have to real time contour the tumor target, right? Then we real time calculate the tumor volume, and compare to the treatment plan, the boundary. It must be online and must be very fast, right? So after we improve the image quality, you can see the tumor target, the tumor contouring is much better. The dice is improved significantly. So at last, I think this probably the time is running out. So now we had talked about the MR and CT guidance in clinical radiation therapy. And next, I will spend some time on some preclinical image guidance. That means for small animal experiment. So preclinical radiation research, if you have collaborate with radiation biologists or with our physicians, you may be aware of this the progress in preclinical radiation. So actually, the preclinical radiation is very important because we rely on this radiobiology study to discover this radiobiology mechanisms and also to design better treatment strategies. And for every therapeutic development, usually it has goes through like self experiment phase, animal experiment phase, and then finally to patient experiment. But in our preclinical radiation research, the equipment is very behind, right? Much behind that of the clinical equipment. So I think this is one major roadblock that hinders the progress of radiobiology and the clinical radiation oncology. So you can see, right? This is our clinic setup, right? We have a very luxury machines, devices, but for the preclinical radiation, right? Most laboratory their equipment very simple. It's just one radiation source, X-ray tube, or even gamma or cobalt radiation source, and then with this lead blocks, right? So you just roughly guess the tumor location and then cover the tumor, the animal with lead blocks, and then treat, right? So you can see we don't have image guidance at all. So without image guidance, we cannot accurately localize the tumor target. And now we can do accurate 3D dose calculation, right? Then the result is over-radiation to these animals, and will cause animal death and also affect our experimental result. So to improve this, we developed a small animal precision radiation research platform that utilize multimodality imaging for image guidance, for dose calculation, and for treatment evaluation. So we have three modalities. One is X-ray CT that can provide animal anatomy and also provide CT number for those calculation and treatment planning. And also we have two molecular imaging modalities, which is optical molecular imaging, bioluminescence tomography. It can provide tumor molecular activity and can also pinpoint the tumor location. And another is the fluorescent tomography that can provide specific tumor biomarkers. And so we combine these three imaging modality into one treatment machine, and then we develop this called R-Smart device. So just spend a few seconds talking about these two imaging modalities, the bioluminescent imaging. So it's a molecular imaging modality. It relies on light, right? The tumor cells must be labeled with luciferase before inoculation, and then after we inject this luciferin into the animal, it can trigger this chemical reaction, and the tumor cell will emit light. So based on this light, we can use some sensitive CCD to capture this light and use 3D reconstruction to restore the location of tumor inside the animal. So the fluorescent imaging is a physical reaction. So also the tumor cells are usually labeled with fluorescent proteins, and also we can label them with nanoparticles. And after some laser excitation, we can get this light. It's either visible light or near-infrared light from these tumor cells. And we can also use a camera to capture the light and use our 3D algorithm to reconstruct the tumor location. So this is some like outcome acquired on our iSmart platform. And so we can multimodality imaging, CT combined with optical imaging, right? From CT, we get the animal anatomy information. From molecular imaging, we can directly pinpoint the tumor, right? The tumor location. And we can also see the tumor molecular activity. And with these two multiple imaging modality, we can do a very nice treatment plan, right? So this is one, like there's a three box beam, right, for treatment planning. And we treat it as it's a prostate tumor. You can see we get much conformal coverage. And we also use this molecular imaging to evaluate the treatment outcome, right? We can tell whether or not our treatment strategy is effective or not. So this device combines multimodality, and we can get accurate tumor diagnosis. We can get precise radiation delivery. We can also get quantitative response assessment. These are some papers we published using this precision small animal radiation platform. So with this platform, what we can do? So we can use this one to explore the radiobiology mechanisms. We can also do some translational medicine study, and also we can develop some imaging or treatment techniques on this platform. So there's some research already published. So this one is we use bioluminescent tomography for prostate cancer treatment. You can see we can directly look at the tumor inside the animal body. Right? Any tumor within the mouse, we can get their volume, their location, and their molecular activity. Right? So this before treatment, this after treatment, we not only see the tumor volume shrinkage, and we also see the activity, the tumor molecular activity decrease. This is published in Medical Physics and the Red Journal. This is another paper. I think I will share this. I think this is a very exciting technique. So we use our multimodality imaging for tumor metastasis diagnosis. So we developed a metastatic tumor model. We can see the very small early stage tumor within the whole body. Right now, this is one liver metastasis, right? Two metastases in the liver and one metastasis in the bone. So we can detect tumors as small as 100 micrometer. It's much more sensitive than CT or MR or PET. So this is just one case study. So actually, we have close collaboration with Precision Medical Technology. They can provide this precision radiation therapy devices. So you can see, right? This is one from one experimental mouse, right? This without molecular imaging, we cannot identify tumor location at all, right? This is kind of uniform distribution within the tumor. But with after applying this Biolution tomography, we can directly localize the tumor and also calculate the tumor volume and tumor activity. Then we can do the targeted controlling and treatment planning. This is like a treatment plan with conformal arc. We use like I think 30 or 12 beams, right, shooting from different directions. We get the very conformal coverage for the tumor target and better sparing for those normal tissues. So I think it's now on time, right? For 45 minutes. I get close my talk. So first, multimodality medical images have become almost like a standard practice, right? It's been broadly utilized in clinical radiation therapy. Still, we can do research, right? We still need to do research to expand their functionalities by improving their image quality. And also we need some like clinical studies for some emerging modalities such as MRI-guided radiation therapy and PET-guided radiation therapy. So there's still many critical problems waiting for solutions. And for preclinical radiation, it's also very important, right? We should pay more and more attention to preclinical radiobiology studies. So as a physicist, we need to improve this treatment techniques in preclinical radiation. But now, the more and more techniques have been applied to preclinical radiation. They enable precision radiation and they can help us improve experimental reliability and efficiency. And so they can accelerate the clinical translation from bench to clinic. So I think this is my talk. Thank you very much. So I'm waiting for your questions. All right. Okay.
Okay. So for the talk, and thanks Dr. Yang give us the comprehensive introduction provided on the background of image-guided radiation therapy, summarize the crucial role of CT and MR imaging radiotherapy, as well as his research work on multimodality HRT. And to the audience, if you have any questions, please type in the chat box. And we think we have 2 questions now. And we discuss later, Professor Yang.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So let's welcome the next speaker, Professor Xinye. And Dr. Ni now is the Doctor Supervisor Chief Physicist and Vice President of the 3rd Affiliated Hospital of Nanjing Medical University, China, Director of Jiangsu Medical Physics Engineering Research Center, Director of Nanjing Medical Physics Research Center, Director of Changzhou Key Laboratory of Medical Physics, leader of key medical discipline in Jiangsu Province, China. And he got his PhD degree from Nanjing University of Aeronautics and Astronautics in Medical Physics. Also, in recent years, he has presided over 10 scientific research. More than 200 papers have been published as the first author and correspondent. So let's welcome Dr. Ni.
Thanks, Dr. Chu. Good afternoon, everyone. Today, we presenting our research on ultrasound guided radiation therapy. My name is Xinye, and I'm from the Jiangsu Medical Physics Engineering Research Center and Nanjing Medical University. This research is a collaborative effort with the 3rd Affiliated Hospital of Nanjing Medical University and the 2nd People's Hospital of Changzhou City. Let's dive into the details.
our presentation will cover the following topics. The current research status of ultrasound guided radiation therapy. The specific research content our team has been working on, the challenge we face, and how we are addressing them, the clinical application of our research, our scientific achievement, and future direction. Radiation therapy is one of the key methods for treating malignant tumors. According to the World Health Organization, approximately 70% of cancer patients require radiation therapy during the treatment, and around 40% of cancer can be cured through radiation therapy. Image-guided radiation therapy, or AGRT, is a conventional technique that uses images collected during treatment to guide the therapy. However, organ movement caused by bleeding and other functional activities can lead to deformation in tumors and surrounding tissues, resulting in decreased dose coverage to the tumor and increased radiation exposure to the tumor tissues. CBCT, or combined CT, provides 3D and 4D images guidance with high contrast for bone, but suffers from low soft tissue resolution and beam hardness artifacts. EPID, or electronic photo images device, offers fast scanning and low images dose, but also has low soft tissue resolution. We proposed a closed-model registration network to improve the accuracy of radiation setup. The network uses a closed module, attention module, and multiple information-based method to register anatomic contour, achieving better alignment between predicted and actual images. This slide shows the architecture of our closed-module registration network. It includes a backbone network, a closed-module attention module, and a similarly block to ensure accurate legislation for DR and DRR contours. CBCT has several drawbacks, include surgical artifacts, inaccurate CT values, poor soft tissue image coverage, and increased radiation exposure due to frequent scans. This limitation makes it challenges to use CBCT for precise dose calculation and tumor targeting. To overcome CBCT limitation, our team proposed a 3D cycle GAN network to generate synthetic CT images. This network uses residual cascading deeper conventional networks and introduce the cycle consistency loss to ensure accurate Hounsfield field unit values for radiation therapy for planning. This slide illustrates the architecture of our 3D cycle GAN network. It consists of two symmetrical generative adversarial network that form a cyclic network, allowing for effective learning with a non-linear mapping between CBCT and CT images. In low-dose CBCT scans, artifacts are a significant problem. Our team proposed the attention-guided generative adversarial network, or AGGAN, which use two attention-guided generators to focus on important image regions and remove artifacts, producing high-quality synthetic CT image. This histogram compares the House field unit values of CBCT, CT, and synthetic CT images generated by different GAN model. The AGGAN generated SCT closely matches the standard CT, significantly reducing errors compared to other models. Here we compare the synthetic CT images generated by different models. The AGGAN models preserve normal tissue autonomy while removing most artifacts, making it superior to other methods like pix-to-pix and cycle GAN. Our team proposed struct artifact reducing networks, or SARN, trained in a self-supervised manner to deduce the CBCT struct artifacts. This network uses random deformation fields and sinogram replacement to improve image quality. This slide shows the architecture of SARN, which combines with cycle GAN to produce high-quality synthetic CT images, which deduce the artifacts and accurate HU values. By combining SARN with cycle GAN, we can produce the synthetic CT image with few artifacts, high precision HU values, and accurate anatomy, which is essential for reliable dose calculation in adaptive radiotherapy. Electromagnetic image-guided radiation therapy. Other image-guided radiation therapy techniques include surface-guided radiation therapy, Clarity MR, LINAC, and Ultrasound. Each has its advantages and limitation, but Ultrasound is particularly promising due to its real-time image capabilities and its lack of radiation exposure. Electromagnetic image guided radiation therapy offers real-time feedback and accurate motion tracking without additional radiation dose. However, it requires implanted sensors and can be affected by electromagnetic interference. MR image-guided radiation therapy provides the superior soft tissue contrast and no radiation exposure. However, it has limitations such as difficulty in bone landmark legislation, magnetic field interference, and longer image times. We proposed a cycle generation at a cellular network model, MD cycle gain, or to synthesize CT image from MRI images. This model uses multiple discriminators to ensure high quality CT image for radiation for radiotherapy planning. This slide shows the results of our MD cycle gain model, which synthesizes CT images from pelvic MRI image. These synthetic CT images are of high quality and can be delicately used in radiotherapy planning. Surface-guided radiotherapy offers real-time monitoring without additional radiation dose. However, it has limited, such as patient surface state loss due to obstruction and reduced accuracy with certain skin conditions. Our team delivered 3D point cloud radiotherapy real-time monitoring system. This system uses augmented reality to guide patients' positioning, ensure accurate alignment between the 3D visual model and the actual patient. Ultrasound image is rich in information and provides real-time dynamic disciplines, making it ideal for guiding radiotherapy in blast and abdominal tumors. However, it has limitations such as noise and inability to penetrate dense tissue. Ultrasound guided radiotherapy is often combined with CBCT or used independently. Multiple CBCT scans increase the patient radiation dose, and the ability of radiotherapy personnel to read ultrasound image is often weaker than that of CT. To avoid the limitation of ultrasound guidance, we proposed a method to obtain pseudo-CT images from ultrasound images. This allows for accurate positional verification without the need for CBCT. This slide outlines the process of ultrasound-guided radiotherapy from obtaining planning CT images to performing ultrasound scans and registering the image for treatment planning. In prostate cancer treatment, ultrasound images provide rich information and dynamic real-time disciplines. By fusing ultrasound and CT images, we can easily determine the relative positions of organs and improve treatment accuracy. This slide shows the setup for 2D ultrasound guided radiotherapy, including the line accelerator, robotic arm, and the space coordinate calibration device. Here we see 2D ultrasound images of the bladder and prostate. These images are used to guide the positional of the patient during radiotherapy. Compared to prostate positioning, guided by 3D peritoneal ultrasound and CBCT. The results showed the 3D ultrasound provide accurate positioning with less radiation exposure. Robot-assisted ultrasound-guided radiation therapy system. This system includes a robotic arm and an ultrasound probe and a remote computer for precise tumor locations. This slide shows the hardware setup for our robotic ultrasound guided radiotherapy system, including the ultrasound probe, depth camera, and phantom for testing. Our team proposed a multi-modal point cloud-based tumor locations method. This method uses CT and RGBD point clouds to determine tumor locations and body surface scan location, ensuring accurate and radiation-free tumor locations. This slide presents the results of repeated position verification. The average absolute L between the actual and predicted positions is within an acceptable range, demonstrating the accuracy of our system. Here, we see a fusion image of 3D locations, ultrasound and CT. This fusion allows for precise tumor targeting and deduce the risk of damaging the surrounding health tissues. This slide compares planar CT and ultrasound images. The fusion of these images ensures accurate target delineation and treatment planning. Compared to 3D ultrasound and bone legislation based on CBCT, the designs showed that 3D ultrasound provides the more accurate position, especially in the longitude and vertical axis. For the ultrasound guidance adds a time factor to conventional CBCT guidance by capturing ultrasound scan sequence at different moments. We can reconstruct 3D image sequence of tumors and organ at risk, improving treatment accuracy. Our team developed a self-made ultrasonic fixing device to ensure stable and accurate ultrasound image during radiotherapy. Less palatal gating technology and tumor dynamic checking techniques are used to reduce the impact of organ movement during radiotherapy. These techniques improve treatment accuracy and reduce the radiation exposure to normal tissues. This slide shows the application of 4D ultrasound in checking diaphragm movement reduced radiotherapy for pancreatic cancer. real-time ultrasound checking helps reduce the PTV expansion and protect normal tissue. This slide shows a tumor dynamic checking technique using ultrasound-guided MLC checking. This system checks tumor movement in real time and adjust the MLC levels according, ensuring precise radiation levels. Ultrasound is used to monitor diaphragm movement during radiotherapy for pancreatic cancer. By checking a portal vein, we can predict the movement of pancreas and improve treatment accuracy. The article authors proposed a deep learning-based framework to predict 3D liver motions using 2D ultrasound images. This framework requires only two pre-treatment 3D volumes and 2D images represent the organ current state. This slide illustrates the motion model's training process. This model uses convolutional autoencoders to collect complex 3D deformation and with 2D ultrasound images, improving the accuracy of motion predictions. We studied the influence of 4D ultrasound on the volume resolution of moving target regions. By scanning a prostate model under different motion states, we analyzed the impact of motion, amplitude, and period on target volume. This slide shows the tumor volume under different motion states. The results provide reference data for determining the planned target volumes and the external placement of radiotherapy patients based on ultrasound images. Our most recent research focuses on improving the accuracy of ultrasound-guided radiotherapy through advanced image processing and deep learning techniques. Our research includes images pre-processing legislation, sampling, and mask making. We also include the Harris corner detections algorithm for better ultrasound image statistician. We explored two methods for pseudo-CT guidance, image synthesis, and deformation field legislation. Both methods aim to improve the accuracy of ultrasound-guided radiotherapy. The image synthesis method use texture characteristic and glare level information to predict pseudo-CT image. This method meets the needs of clinical radiotherapy diagnosis and treatment. We proposed stacked generative adversarial network (SGAN) to generate high-resolution pseudo-CT images from ultrasound images. This network uses two-stage process to produce clear and accurate pseudo-CT images. Due to high noise in ultrasound images, we obtained labeled ultrasound images to determine contour and position information of organs at disk. These labels are used as input for deep learning networks. This slide showed the architecture of the generator and discriminators in our SGIN model. This model uses multiple GANs to define the pseudo-CT images and ensure accurate grayscale information. We compared the synthetic CT images generated by different models, include SGIN, NSF, and CycleGAN, and the SGAN model produced the most accurate data, closely matching the ground truth CT. This slide compared the contours of synthetic CT images with the ground truth CT. The SGAN model shows the closest match with a high dice similarity coefficient DSC value. Here we compare the pseudo CT images generated by SGAN and CGAN, and the SGAN model produced more accurate and detailed images as shown in the enlarged sections. This slide compared the dose volume histogram of DCT and synthetic CT images. The design showed that the dose difference between the two is minimal, making synthetic CT suitable for radiotherapy planning. The deformation field legislation method applies the deformation field between ultrasound images scanned during the planning and treatment to the position CT images, generating a pseudo CT image. This slide showed the fusion images of CT and ultrasound. The organ line represent the blood outlines in the ultrasound images, which the red line represent difference between the two images. We improve the image quality of pseudo CT by adjusting pixel information. Stabilizing ultrasound images and performing local legislation of different regions of interest. This method ensures accurate applications of the ultrasound deformation field. This slide outlines the process of acquiring pseudo CT image uses step-and-step local legislation. This method involves applying the deformation fields to the CT image to obtain the final pseudo CT. Here we see the step-by-step process of local legislation. This method involves multiple deformation fields applied to the CT image to generate the final pseudo CT. We segmented different regions of interest based on organ and tissue density. This segmentation ensures accurate deformation field applications and improve the quality of the pseudo CT images. This slide shows the pseudo CT images obtained with and without deformation. The images with deformation fields applied show better alignment with the CBCT image. We evaluated the anatomical structure of pseudo CT and CBCT images. The results showed that the pseudo CT images accurately represent the anatomy, making them suitable for radiotherapy planning. This slide showed the sectional dose distribution of a cervical cancer patient. The dose distribution in the synthetic CT closely matches the planning CT, demonstrating the accuracy of our method. We compared the DVH of the remote plan for planning CT and synthetic CT. The results showed that the dose difference in minimal. The large dose difference at the top of PTV is due to the different degree of blood feeding. By adjustments may be needed due to change in organ position. Ultrasound image are normal beam image compared to CT, meaning single angle scans often miss a part of the tumor or organ at disk. To access this, we develop multi-angle stitching algorithm to create wide field ultrasound images for comprehensive guidance. Traditional corner detection methods produce the redundant or mismatches points, especially at light-dark junction. Our improved algorithm reduced redundancy by comparing pixel values of subgraphics and interactive filtering relevant corners. Split image into subgraph. Compare center corner pixels with surrounding point to eliminate redundancy. Repeat across the entire image. This ensures only meaningful corners are retained for accurate stitching. Here we compare the traditional hardest corner stitching with our improved method. The defined algorithm eliminate gaps and achieves smooth transition between images, clinical for precise tumor target. This slide compared stitched ultrasound images using our method, left with the original approach right. The improved stitching provides a wide field of view and better alignment with CT reference image. Key challenges include low resolution H1000 images and the need for automated segmentation. We adjust this by developing AI-driven model segmentation. We built an active shape model for prostate boundary extraction by combining multi-modal features like local binary panels and gable filters. Our method accurately segment prostate contour in noise H1000 image. TNSNet dual pass CNN with type lab V3 backbone use soft shape supervision to emphasize nodule boundaries. This improves segmentation accuracy even for complex or incomplete nodules. TNSNet outperforms classical model like unit and attention unit in segment benign, malignant, and multiple thyroid nodules, closely matching the ground truth. Evaluation metrics DSC sensitivity and specificity show TNSNet's superior performance. The box plot highlight distribution and high median scores compared to other model. Our boundary structure preserving unit integrate boundary graph generation model to detect structure details. This is critical for accurate prostate contouring in radiotherapy planning. Steps include edge detection via canyon algorithm, morphological appellation to remove noise, and key point initialization. The final control matches clinical standards. Our method produced event space boundary points without overlaps, unlike this method middle, which shows fragmented lines. This ensures precise dose delivered to the prostate. BPH unit uses boundary preserving transformer and multi-scale features fusion to segment thyroid nodules. The self-attention polling module enhances boundary detection in the low contrast H1000 images. The BPSM combines sharp polling SPSA and pyramid and polling PPSA to capture multi-scale features. This improves nodules boundary representation, clinical for definition, malignant and benign cases. BPIT unit outperformance trans unit and other models on the TN3K dataset, accurate segmentation, nodules of varying size and shapes. FMRNet fused in architecture predictive model and combined tumor lesions features. The model uses three-branch architecture to improve diagnostic accuracy without requiring manual segmentation during testing. Green lines mark internal model areas. Red lines outlines predictive model lesion and combined lesions. Integrate both FMRNet leverages these lesions to classify tumors with high precision. Visualized masks align closely with ground truth, validating the model ability to extract tumor lesions automatically. This reduces reliance on manual annotation in clinical workflow. FMRNet achieves 94% accuracy and 0.957 AUC on the UDIH dataset, outperforming BYRETL and SGOFNET. This results highlight its robustness across diverse ultrasound data sets. The ROC curve shows FMRNet outperforming baseline models. AUC greater than 0.9 indicates high diagnosis accuracy, making it suitable for clinical decision making. Ultrasound radiomics extract qualitative features from images to assess tumor status, while less feature-rich than CT MRI. It offers real-time radiation-free insights into tumor heterogeneity. We compared radiomics and clinical or corpusological features to predict Ki-67 expression pre-surgery. The model uses SVM and LISSO selected features validated on 3-4-1 chaining and 8-6 test patients. Steps include images processing, feature extraction, while radiomics recursive feature alimentation and model chaining. External validation confirmed generalizability. By analyzing the tumor lesions, our model distinguishes invasive ductal carcinoma ADC from DCIS. The optimal peritoneal scope was 8 nm, maximizing AUC to 0.893. Expanding the peritoneal lesion from 2 mm to 8 mm improved model performance. Statistical analysis confirmed significant difference between combined and intratumoral only models. At the model achieves IUCs of 0 at 1 and China and 0 at 9.3 test. This emphasized the importance of optimizing peditomal and scope and radiomics studies. Deep learning complements radiomics by extracting complex features from ultrasound data. We develop attention guide models to node metastasis prediction in breast cancer. Our model integrates radiomics features with the dense net 201 and CBM attention models. This fusion improves the accuracy input nodal metastasis prediction, critical for personal treatment planning. CBM dense net achieve 95% accuracy and 0.9 at 6 IUC, outperforming standalone radiomics or deep learning models. Calibration curves confirm clinical reliability. We develop a dual gradient method with criminalist impacting to remove market from ultrasound images. This ensure clean data sets for radiomics analysis. Robot sober gradient calculation, binary threshold holding collected analysis and criminalist impacting. The final mask accuracy isolates and remove artifact. Our method successfully remove close marks, always and text while preserving anatomical details. Compared with ground sounds shows minimal structural distortion. Accurate CT ultrasound legislation remains a challenge due to difference in image physics. We adjust this with pixel displacement collection and advanced-based deformation algorithm. Using Harris corner detection and Lucas Canada optical flow, we collected ultrasound images to match CT anatomy. A post-collection MCC value improved by 15%, ensuring reliable legislation. Planned control is in collected ultrasound aligned closed with CT. The average deformation across 20 patients was 1.2 mm, meeting radiotherapy standard. Guided radiotherapy is used for cervical and prostate cancer. Clinical no cervical competition. ability to maintain treatment position and an ECOG score. Radiotherapy workflow. Steady QI protocol. Steady QI by physics. Steady QI. Mouse QI. Mouse QI. Spatial resolution and sensitivity tests. Cervical cancer radiotherapy setup. Image registration and target delineation. Real-time monitor. Prostate simulation phase. Treatment phase. Scanning. Scanning setup. Image registration and target delineation. Real-time monitoring and gating. Real-time monitor designs. Scientific research achievement. Recent publication. Patent and software copyright. Award and recognition. National Cancer Center guideline project. National Science Foundation grant. Thank you for your attention. Our research advanced ultrasound guide radiotherapy through AI, radiomics, and robust clinical workflow. We welcome collaboration to further define these technologies. Thank you. Okay.
Okay. Can you hear me? Okay, thank you, Dr. Ni. He illustrated us his research work of detailed application guidance of ultrasound image for precision radiotherapy. And he showed us he used many tools and advanced devices to achieve these. Also, many vivid and effective clinical cases were demonstrated for us. I think it's very interesting. Thanks again. I think we should go to the next step. Our next step is the question and answer sections. The audience, if you have any questions, please type your questions in the chat box, and we are listed and I'll answer them one by one. I think the first question is, what are the typical values of KB and MS set during coping CT? I think this issue, we all pay more attention to this, and we'll take very concerned about this because we use coping CT in our daily work, in our daily treatment. So who will help answer these questions?
Is this my question, I think?
Maybe you can
Okay.
do the work.
Yeah. So, okay. So actually the KVP and MA, right? The energy and current, they are determined by the imaging volume, right? Usually the bigger volume requires higher energy and a greater current, right? The MA. In our study, we usually use about 100 kVp. For example, when we imaging the pelvic phantom, the kVp is set to 120 kV. The MA is around 20 to 50 MA for the head phantom, for imaging head, right? Usually it's a smaller number, it's about 20 or 25 MA. And for imaging larger volumes, such as pelvis or abdomen, it's about roughly, I think, 30 to 35 MA. So you can actually, if you do experiment or you do clinical setup, you can max or optimize these parameters by imaging phantoms. Okay, yeah.
Yes. And do you think there is the difference between for example, the head comicity or the abdominal comicity? They have different setup for these parameters.
Yes, yes. So yes, they do have difference. So for the KVP, you can also use a smaller KVP. Yeah, maybe 100 KVP is enough. And also MA is about also smaller. So for the head phantom, I think 25 MA is enough for imaging head, but it must be at least 30 for imaging abdomen or pelvis.
Okay. It's according to the image quantities.
Yes.
Okay. Wait. And the second question is the location. What about placement of markers for planning in comicity and PET? And how it's achieved?
Okay, it's probably also my question. Yeah, so I can answer it like in our clinic, when we place the marker for fiducial, usually it's metal fiducial, right? It's metal marker. It's just usually for combing CT guidance. But if you have PET or MR, for the online guidance, we probably don't need to place those fiducials, right? Because the MR and PET, they can directly provide us tumor location.
And it's unnecessary, yeah.
Yes, it's probably unnecessary.
Okay. And I have a question. And when you do the MI clinic work, do you make a position device for the patients? For example, the body location equipment.
Yes, they have. I think those they have commercial products. Those must be non-magnetic.
But
Yeah.
But maybe this equipment was a little bit larger, and it could go through the cone of your treatment. And my clinic, that yes.
Yeah, there's a limitation because the ball is only, I think about maybe 50 to 60 centimeters. So we cannot treat patient with for example too large body.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yes.
So and also we also need like a specifically designed those like a vacuum fix, right? Those are different body fix or localization devices, and most of them are commercial products. So we can get them from those companies.
The last question I see is the CTDI. In CT simulator, quoted the CTDI values are in milligray, but when we measure the CTDI value are in microgray. What is the reason?
So that's that's probably I think that must be a measurement error, right? It's because from milligray to microgray is a several ordered difference. There must be a wrong with something. I guess you should check your calibration coefficient for your detector, right? So one way you can do is you can measure some known dose with your detectors, right? And compare with the reference. So if it's wrong, it's probably because of your detector calibration. I don't know what types of detectors you use for ion chambers. I think they require annually or probably double annual, right, calibration. So you probably need to check your calibration coefficient, see if it's like meet your the expectation.
So the clarification work is very important for
Yes.
of devices. Yeah.
Right.
Anyone, any questions? And here I have a notice, and the coming school webinar will be held on the next month, 5th March, and topic is the role of medical physicists in developing indigenous radiation equipment, challenges and success stories. So the next coming webinar waiting for you. Thank you. And if there's not yet any questions, maybe today's webinar will be finished. And Mary, are you here?
Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you very much, Professor Yang and Professor Ni, for very interesting talk. And it was a lot of information was there, which is actually new to me also. Thank you so much for your very informative talk, very detailed talk. And thank you very much, Jiayun. And until we meet for the next talk on next month, bye. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And thank you very much, all the audience.
Okay,
Yes.
thank you very much. Yeah.
Okay.
Bye.
So say bye now.
Yeah, that's all.
Yes.
Okay,
Bye.
let's wrap up.
Bye.
So bye bye, Tony. Bye bye, Mary.
Bye.
Dr.
Thank you.
Chu. Okay.
Bye bye.
Happy New Year. Okay.
Bye.
Happy New
Bye-bye.
Year.